Hello everyone. I'm up early this morning. Woke up at 3:20 just so I could get ready for this ride. I'm going to drive 100 miles from my home to an area called Furnace Creek, California, which is going to be a pretty rough day out on the saddle today. So I'm going to take you guys with me. So although the destination was a very scenic spot, I elected not to take any camera on board with me to lessen as much weight as possible because of the nature of how the route laid out. So I apologize in advance for the poor quality, especially the audio, because all I took with me was the iPhone instead of any kind of other action camera or actual full frame camera. So let's see how the ride was. February 20th, 2021, 3:55 a.m. $1:30. Left the Furnace Creek, California, 200 feet below sea level, 44 degrees, sun's coming up. Up ahead in the distance, that's a Hotel California lyric. Up ahead in the distance, you see a bunch of cars. They're all parked at a spot called the Zabriskie Point. So I'll be passing by that. Maybe I'll stop on by there on the way down from Dante's view. So right now I'm 4.5 miles into it. Already climbed the 750 feet. So got about 20 miles more of climbing to get to Dante's view. All right, still climbing. Death Valley in the background. Hope I'm catching it. All right, so on my BMC road machine this morning, not the lightest bike. So, and right now there's about 10-mile-per-hour gentle headwind, so that sort of sucks. But we'll keep going. I climbed 1,200 feet, about 4,000 feet more to go. There we go. All right, still climbing, but this backdrop right here that you see remind me of a TV show I used to watch when I was young. So this is gonna probably show how old I am, and if you identify it, maybe that will show you're about the same generation I am. So I'm looking at this backdrop. The TV show theme song that comes to mind goes like this. Leave a comment if you know what that is. And I'm not actually sure if the TV show was filmed out here, but I don't know why it reminds me of it. Anyhow, still fine. Alright, so I didn't bust out the phone for the final 3 miles of the climb because the gradient for those last 3 miles was anywhere from like to 10 to 20%, got pretty gnarly. Especially the final half a mile or so got really violent, averaging right around 15%. So I didn't have any, I don't have any clips of that, so my apologies. How are you? This is yours truly, Diabetic Cycling, aka DC, not to be confused with the other very famous DC. If you enjoy cycling content and other lifestyle things surrounding that, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so I can come see you more often. Although I've lived in the States for over 30 years and most of that in California, I've actually never had been to the Death Valley. So it's been something that I've been wanting to ride for a while now. However, now there is a group ride event that's being put together between me and some of the buddies of mine, which is happening in about a few weeks. So I thought to myself, I would just drive out real quick and recon the course known as Dante's View. So Dante's View is one of the most well-known cycling routes in Death Valley, well documented. You start from Furnace Creek. I don't know if that's a city or town. I did see some kind of a motel there as well, accommodating travelers and lots of like a campgrounds and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's a city or town nonetheless. So the route starts from Furnace Creek, which is actually 200 feet below the sea level. So you start from there and then you basically consistently climb about 5,600 feet for 25 miles. So you leave the town of Furnace Creek, you go up 12 miles, passing another scenic area called the Zabrisky's Point. And then you make a right turn at some point. I think it's a Furnace Creek Wash Road, and then it eventually takes you up Dante's View. Now, first 22 miles of this course, basically you're climbing anywhere from 2 to 4% gradient, so it's not terribly difficult. But where this thing gets you is the final 3 miles, which is where you're going to start seeing 10 to 20%, and it gets pretty violent. So like as mentioned earlier, final half a mile or so, you're averaging about 15%. There are some spots where it's like a 20% gradient. So it is important to not burn all your matches from mile 0 to mile 22, because it's pretty casual, 4.5% average gradient from 0 to 22 mile mark, and then it just kicks up. So once you reach the top, you see a parking lot, you see a bunch of cars and the tourists. And actually, when I got up there, the tourists that were there, they were just clapping and congratulating me on a job well done climbing that bitch up on a bike. And it was pretty hard, especially the final mile or so. So that was pretty nice. So after enjoying the scenery up at the top of Dante's View, now it's a 25-mile descent back to where this whole thing began, back to Furnace Creek Road. So you're looking at 25 miles of just not having to pedal at all, just coasting all the way down, easy day. That's what I thought. Lo and behold, by the time actually I was up at the top enjoying the scenery, trying to take photos and whatever, the wind started to kick up, and I failed to get the weather forecast screen at that time because there was no cell signal. So the wind started to gusting up, and I put my jacket back on and I started to descend, and here's the problem. So I'm just facing a gnarly headwind as I'm descending, and there's some hairpin turns there as well. So I'm pedaling balls out. So it's about, I'll give you an example. So it's about -4% gradient, and I'm pedaling balls out, and my average speed was barely over 14 miles an hour. So that tells you how just nasty that headwind was. And then obviously there were some turns along the way. So that headwind sometimes becomes crosswind, and it was shaking and just lots of jitters and chatters up at the front end of my bike, which was very dangerous. And I was very glad that I had disc brakes on the bike instead of rim brake. But all in all, I had a pretty good time. I'm glad that I got that ride done. It was something that I've been wanting to do over the last how many years. So in a few weeks, when I go back out there with my buddies, I will know what to expect, what kind of where the hard spots will be, and just kind of knowing how to pace myself, which is very important when you go up on something like this. So those of you who have been thinking about Dante's View and that haven't done it, definitely make a date for it and get out there and keep pedaling. All right, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell notification so I can come see you more often. Thank you. You've been awesome. I've been Diabetic Cycling. Until next time, you guys all take care, be good humans, and keep pedaling. I'm out.